Okay, so this is the Premiere, just basic intro tutorial video. So, first thing we want to do is connect our external hard drive, or if you have enough space in your computer memory, then you can go ahead and make a file, project file. So something called A242 projects. The main rule is you want to make sure that you have 20% of your hard drive, either it's the external hard drive or the computer hard drive, free, just for Premiere to process. Basically, if it doesn't, then you won't be able to render. You'll have weird like exporting issues, and if your computer in general has less than 20% of its memory, it can actually start to um, use the memory with its own internal storage. It can like eat its own memory. So just make sure that you never get to like below 20 gigs or 10 gigabytes at any point. So okay, so you make your project file in your hard drive. A242 projects is what I called this. I'm going to go ahead and make within that a new folder that'll be this sample project. So I'll say intro project. Okay, and now you want to, this is before you even open Premiere, this is everything that you want to do so that you have everything organized. You want to make sure that Premiere can read from all of the data that you have. So you want to make sure that everything's organized, and then a Premiere project file will be made consisting of all the source media. So I'm actually just going to use for the source video the finished edited video that I made for the intro video, which was pretty goofy, and then I'm going to use a song, yeah, as my audio. So I'll just mess with this. When you do your found footage project, let's find out where this is. Yeah, when you do your found footage project, I have two websites that I like to pull media from to download. You want to download video into MP4. Most of your video files will be MP4s, and that's just a good file format. It's very internet friendly, really easy to use, pretty universal. So if let's say that you take this this song, use for audio, try to use royalty-free audio, or of course if it's your own audio, then you have the copyright to it. So like this 80s background music, and then I'd go choose MP3 and use the site to download this file, and then I'd download that and I would put that into my project file. You can also use this online video converter site, and I'll send the links in Canvas. That one works pretty well too. This YouTube MP3, it's like ytmp3.cc. I know it's weird, but just put YouTube to MP3 in your search bar, and it'll pull it up. It's the first one, and that can also convert MP4 videos. You just have to switch to that tab. So that's how we'll be pulling anything video-wise and royalty-free audio-wise for your found footage project, and maybe some of your other projects too. So now that I've got all my source media in my project folder, now I can open up Premiere, and I'm going to go ahead and click New Project. I'm going to call this Intro Video, and it says the location, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in A242 projects into my intro project. So now everything that Premiere is writing to will go into my source folder. And I'm going to check this by going to Scratch Disks. This is where all the video, audio, previews, all this stuff goes. So you just want to make sure that it's all going to the same place, which it is, intro project. Check the space, and I've got 840 gigs free because this is a fairly new hard drive. Once you've double-checked those, click OK, and now it'll open up Premiere. So nothing's imported yet, so it's blank. So let's go ahead and click File, Import, and I'm going to go ahead and choose this video first, press Import, and I'm going to go ahead and import that audio also. And so now over here in my project file, it shows your media. And to pull this into the timeline, you can either choose specific sequence settings, which is what you do if you had footage that came, say, from multiple sources, like from a video camera or your cell phone or a DSLR, and taking it from the internet. But for our purposes, a really easy route is to choose the source footage and to take it into this item, left of the trash can, new item. So if you drag that into here, it'll actually preserve those source video settings. So here's my kind of meta. Here's my video of me that I edited the same way that I just pulled in. So everything's preserved, all the proportions, everything. It tells you here the frame rate. We're going to be using 24 or 25 frames per second. 24 is standard. It tells you the resolution right there, 1280 by 720, which is in pixels. 48,000 hertz, compressed stereo sound, all that's pretty standard. If I were to drag my audio into this, I don't have to drag it through new item because that'll make it into a new sequence. I just drag that into the project. So if you have a lot of, if I were to add video to this, I wouldn't keep adding it to the new item because it'll create a new sequence. See this tab right here? That's the sequence tab. So now that I've taken that first clip into here, anything else I add just goes directly dragged onto the timeline, not into this new item, which will create an entirely new sequence based on the settings of that clip. So if you're putting in something that you shot on a phone, you've got like, let's say 50 clips. You want to drag those clips all at once and then into new item. Or you can just drag one, and if they're all shot on the same device, then that's great. Don't even worry about it. And you can just take all of that and just drag that over into the timeline. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, any questions, ask me at any point, message me, text me, whatever. So let's just go into this is just a basic setup. So let's go into these windows. Over here on the right, you've got the viewer. This is kind of like the finished product. And down here, and you can see again, you can choose this if you want to see a smaller amount of it. Fit it to screens, pretty standard. This has to do with the render. So let's say that you've got a lot of effects going on, or your computer's kind of older. You might want to view that in half quality or even a fourth quality resolution. That'll make playback much smoother. Down here is the timeline. So you can zoom in and out of this with the plus and minus keys, which I'm doing back and forth right now to get a feel for it. It's really helpful if you zoom out to see the whole project. If you want to move stuff around, or zoom in if you want to make really precise edits. This is the blue thing. It's called the playhead. You can drag the playhead around specifically to go where you want. Then over here, you've got all kinds of stuff. So the V1, those are the video tracks. A1, A2, A3, those are the audio tracks. You can extend these to really pull out. You can see, the audio track is made up of, because it's stereo, duplicates for left and right audio. If it's compressed, you don't see that as easily. So to get really good access for audio editing, you want to extend that. You can extend the video tab too, but that's not really necessary. Again, you can have as many video and audio tracks as you want. Now, to separate this, I'd actually have to right-click or control-click, unlink. Now I can edit the audio and video separately. It's automatically, when you imported it, it's conjoined, like this clip is conjoined, because you don't want it to get out of sync, or that's what Premiere is thinking. But again, you're going to want to forcibly separate a lot of your video and audio, especially for the found footage where you just want the video. So again, that's just right-click, unlink to separate the video and audio tracks. You can edit those separately. Now, if I double-click on just that video, it pulls it up into the editing window. This is where, if you go to Effect Controls, this is where you can start to change everything. This is how you animate in Premiere. This is how you change your effects and change your effect details, change the opacity, all kinds of stuff. You can always, just going to cut that, add as many video tracks as you want. So if I had a lot of video tracks, I could keep adding those. You can add as many video tracks, as many audio tracks as you want. Really complicated edits here. We'll go into some of this stuff later. This is to mute audio if I wanted to mute just one track if I had layered audio going on. I'm assuming you guys are pretty familiar with audio editing, so I won't go into that too much right now. This is to lock a track if you wanted to make an edit, but only lock part of it and keep the rest to play around with. Then to the left here, you've got some good little quick keys. V is your selection. You'll be using C and V a lot. So C is your razor tool, your cut tool. Switch between those and you'll see it pulls up this little razor blade. Wherever the playhead is, you can make a precise edit. That is if you have magnetic clipping on. Otherwise you can make kind of freeform edits. Then the other tool we will be using is this pen tool down here, and that's for audio editing. So if I were to zoom into my audio down here, I can click around, gonna go back to selection and play around with that audio to make specific kind of audio edits. So that's kind of the timeline. Down here again, you've got your media source, and then if you click this right tab and go to Effects, and keep in mind you can mess around with these windows. You can even, they have all kinds of different layouts. If you go into Window and Workspaces, some are based on what kind of editing you're doing. You can make, customize these windows and then save it as a new workspace. So just keep that in mind. But if you go into Effects down here, this is mainly what we're going to be using this this tab for, this window for. You've got all of your effects down here. You've got your presets. Okay, that's with changing the look of the color speed if you want to make it look like film or if it was shot with a specific camera. You've got your audio effects, your audio transitions, your video effects, all kinds of audio distortions, changes, as well as your video transitions. So that's the Effects tab. And then up here, again, you have to click back into the source of it to take a look at your editing window. Whatever you double click on, you select that you pull up, that's going to be what you edit. So if my playhead's over here and I go into Effect Controls, it's not going to be editing this clip right here over where my playhead is, because this is what I have pulled up and selected. That's what I'm editing. So any changes that I make are going to coincide with where the playhead is and what you selected. And over here to the right of all these changes, you'll see the playhead itself. That's just a zoomed in version of the area of the timeline that you're editing. And over here, these are basic changes you can make to the window itself. You'll see the window selected right now, this blue bar right here. So this is where you can actually make changes to the frame itself. You can copy that, move that around. You can animate that, change the scale, add the opacity to have all kind of filtered effects, etc., etc. And we will get into that later on. So this is the basic setup, and then you just want to file, save your project. And now if I pull up my Finder and I go into the project, you'll see that it's made a new Premiere project folder. And that's this introvideo.prprog. Now, that is a reference file. It's the project file. It doesn't actually contain the media. That's why you need the source media at all times. So that's why you want to really stay organized. If you just have all your clips laying around, it's going to make a headache for you. So make sure that your project file for each of these projects is organized, specifically has the video and audio that's specific to that project. And that concludes our basic intro to Premiere.